Karen Bonifilio, thank you for tuning in and joining us in our chat today, Inner Realms Outer Journeys. I have another magnificent guest for you to learn from today. Her name is Daniela Florio, and did I say it correctly?
Absolutely, you did.
Okay, and she has a beautiful accent. So would you like to say hi? She does, I love it. Would you like to say hello to the audience before we start?
Of course, absolutely. So I wanted to say, first of all, good evening to everyone. And above all, thank you, Karen, for having me tonight. And I was really looking forward to this and to, to share my experience and, to provide, I would say probably a different insight of connecting to spirit, right?
Perfect. Yes, perfect. Well, I always ask my guests to send a little bio about themselves. And I got to tell you, she's got a lot going on. And I wish we had longer to talk because there's so many things that she has to share. So, Daniela, I think what I'm going to ask you to do is just to share your story first, and then we'll see where we're headed with our discussion today.
Sure, of course.
Okay.
So I just wanted to say that I didn't see spirit when I was little, but for sure I knew there was something else way bigger than me, way bigger than my parents. And I'm talking about when I was about 4 or 5 years old, and way bigger than anything else in the world.
You're thinking that at 4 years old?
Well,
Wow.
What happened to me? Yes, I did. The reason why was that I underwent an operation, and one of, it was, I think, tonsils or something like that. And suddenly, in the middle of in the operating theater, while I was, under anesthetics, my soul left my body.
Oh.
And what I've realized at a later stage was that I had an out-of-body experience because I had an issue with my lungs, which the doctors were not aware of, and they lost me for a little while.
Okay.
And so I left my body, and I could see the doctors, I could hear the doctors talking, and I was scared. I went like, where am I? Right. Why can I see everything so clearly? But it's cold, it's up here. And I felt like I remember as clearly as, yesterday, I don't want to float away. I want to be with my mommy. And then suddenly I felt like that my soul went across the wall, and I found myself in the corridor in the hospital. And then I went back, and then I calmed myself down a little bit, and I could hear exactly what they were saying. I could see my body under the sheet and everything. And then suddenly I woke up into the hospital bed. When I was able, came back to myself, I told my parents what had happened, and they said, don't worry, that was the anesthetic, you were just dreaming. I knew that was not a dream. I just knew. Following that experience, I always felt attracted to anything metaphysical and anything to do with angels, anything to do with ETs, because at the time I was looking for an answer. So I was reading.
Did you say ETs?
ET, yeah, extraterrestrials. Okay. Yes. Because as a young child, I didn't know what I was looking for. Where was my answer?
Right.
You know, in my head as a child, I was thinking, did I go to a different world? It wasn't mystic, but it was definitely something else, a different dimension. And through the years, I became passionate about reading science fiction and reading about alternative life, you know, and I read a lot about it. And, you know, in those days, I'm, you know, a bit older than I look, but in those days we didn't have any mobile phone, we didn't have internet. So anything that I could get hold of, you know, in terms of literature, in any way, books, you know. So, and then suddenly, at the age of 13, one night, I was deep in my sleep. I saw a friend coming through I swear to you, it felt like it really happened. So it was pitch dark in the bedroom. The door opened and there was this massive golden light coming out. And through that, a very dear friend of mine, they said, Daniela, hello, my lovely, how are you? You know, like I was like all of that. And she went like, I've come to say goodbye. I mean, to be honest with you, we had come out of school together. She had given me a little present, something to tie my hair. She said, I've got plenty, so you can have this. Oh, thank you so much. I just was like, I was so disturbed because this was not a typical dream, right? But I didn't know what it was.
And you're 13 at the time.
13 at the time.
And she's coming to say goodbye, and she is around the same age as you.
Yes, same age. So because of that dream, I overslept in the morning and my dad had to drive me to school. I walk into the classroom and everybody was crying their eyes out. She had been run over the evening before and she passed.
Oh, gosh.
I still have goosebumps, by the way.
Oh, I have them all over right now. Oh, my gosh.
And I just was under shock, basically, because then I recalled, you know, the dream that she had come to say goodbye to me, you know. And since then, I've been, on occasions, not regularly, but on occasions until my 30s, I've been seeing spirits somehow. Initially, it wasn't a positive. I don't know what that was, but I'll leave it to that for another time. It was a bit of a scary experience because this person that nobody saw but I could see wasn't being very kind to me. I discovered at the time that I was like an open antenna radar, and I was walking about like that. I had no idea of what protection was. I had no idea of how grounding. I had no concept of spirituality. And so, you know, I came across this very not very nice spirit. And the only thing I knew, and I was about 20 something, the only thing I knew driving back home was to pray and pray and pray and pray. And as soon as I got home, I told my parents and, you know, but when I turned around, he wasn't there anymore. So he just disappeared. By the time I stepped out of and he was sitting on the floor, this soul, whatever it was. Anyways, there were other opportunities, like fast forward when I was 30, just over, 31, 32. I had my little boy with a childminder, and she sent me upstairs to get his dummy because we'd forgotten about it. As I opened the door, I suddenly see this black cloak floating in front of me. I still didn't have spiritualism. I didn't know I would have become a medium. I didn't know anything about all of that. I was just
learning.
There was this thing floating in front of me, and I was shouting from the top of my throat, "Go away, leave me alone." Like I was so desperate. It was just positions outside the door where the woman was keeping the children, they're looking after. It was like a little, bedroom / playroom. I ran through the corridor, picked up the dummy, turned around, and he was still there again. Long story short, I was screaming, I was shaking. I went downstairs and I said, "Do you have any idea that you got a ghost up in your home?" She said, "Yeah, you're not the first one that sees it."
She knew?
She knew. And I said, "What is that?" She said, "Well, this is a bit of a sad story, but her son, who was 8, was run over by the fire brigades one day and he passed. And she contacted a witch. She didn't want to let go of him. And the witch tied the soul of the child to earth."
Can they do that?
And when I asked a medium, when I went to see a medium at that point, she said, "Well, you don't know yet, but you got a very important soul path ahead of yourself, and he was asking you for help. He wanted you to help him to pass to spirit." And the reason why was the black cloak, because that was the chain that this witch had put over him so that he would stay. And he was like standing outside that room used to be his bedroom. And then the woman was keeping the children, looking after as a childminder the children. So, little by little. And so at that point, I thought maybe I want to do something, something about it, right?
Yes.
But way before I started thinking about becoming a medium, I was so attracted by crystals. And this medium said, your path ahead is to work with crystals, with gems. Not knowing about anything about crystals and gems, I went to the Gemological Association of UK. And I thought maybe I need to become, this is so funny, but they said maybe you need to become a gemologist. 18 months later, though, I thought this is not cutting it. Something is missing. So I went to see a medium again, and she said, "No, that's crystal healing. It's not to do with
right. Your crystals are healing, not knowing that." Yeah, but I gotta back up the truck a second because I'm stuck on that little boy.
Yeah.
Were you able to release him, or is he still tethered?
So when I went back, he had been released. So what I think happened, he found someone else that was able to help him.
Okay, good. I'm so glad.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, I do get on a regular basis spirit. I come across spirit that needs releasing, so I do it when it is required. Some other times, and I do not advertise myself, although I'm saying it here, but I'm not advertising myself. People find me when there are events, things moving in their house. Things are happening and they don't know. And then I always say, I don't deal with these things. I can come I can come and have a look if I can help. I don't charge for that. I'll come and have a look if I can do something about it. Otherwise, I will, ask you to go somewhere else. I can give you some names. And of all the times that words of mouth and I've had to do this, it never was with, anything negative, if you like.
Right.
It was mostly souls that got attached to their own house for a reason or another. And there was, in one occasion, for instance, it was an elderly lady that was died there about a century ago. And the woman that bought her place was doing renovating works. So windows were breaking, objects were flying across the room. And, you know, all I did was to ask this lady, and I've asked this elderly lady, if she could allow the woman that was then living in her place to make it beautiful for the both of them and to make it welcoming and to give it upgrade. And she agreed to that. And yeah. So she didn't want to pass to the, she was not interested. She wanted to stay earthbound. But the lady that owned the house, about 9 months later, contacted me and she said, Annie, since you came, I never had a problem anymore. So clearly it was, yeah. So clearly, you know, so often it doesn't have to be that they need to go to the light because they have self-will. It's non-negotiable. And it's in 3D life. It's in 3D life and it's beyond. You know, it's, you know, we can always make a choice and say yes or say no. You know, it's free will. And I always will respect that, as long as everyone can live together peacefully and create that bond and that connection between us and the other side.
You know, I have heard that also, that they make that choice. Other than the boy that you talked about today, I haven't ever heard of someone making a spirit stay, but that we do have the free will. And if we want to stay, we can stay or we can go. And I'm going to tell you, when my time comes, I'm out of here. You know, I really am. I want to go to the heavenly realms.
There are times, I mean, there are times when people die in trauma and they don't want to pass to the light.
Yes.
And I have had a few of them. And the main reason why they would not want to pass straight away, it's like a waiting room, it's like a chamber, okay? And because they're too worried for their own family, because they haven't done the reassessment of their life yet.
Yes.
Which happens when we move to the other side and we, you know, are given to learn the lessons from the earthly experience that we had. Because when we are born, we sign up to express, to feel mentally, emotionally, physically, what is the life on earth.
Right. And the lessons that we want to experience while we're here too.
And the lesson, I mean, the story goes that we are assigned life purpose. We have a soul purpose. And we spend the whole life looking for it. And if we do find out about it, then we will aim to honor it.
Right.
And this is...
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
This is something that I'm sure many of us have been working on. And I am definitely working on it. And just before we started, I mentioned that we were mentioning about trance mediumship, right?
Oh, yeah.
Which is something that I have been learning for a few years now. And on request, I give trance mediumship workshops as well. And the fact is that, you know, when it comes to life and soul purpose, it's not that, you know, like, for instance, at my age, you know, you think like, oh, okay, my life purpose is to be a medium. it's much more complicated than that. Because
Right.
within my connection to spirit, I have come to find out more. And so at the moment, there is going to be a bridge between what we perceive as trance mediumship and an embodied mediumship.
Embodied mediumship?
Embodied. So this is what spirit was telling me. Yeah, I know. Spirit told me. I haven't heard it anywhere else myself. They're saying that they will be training me to feel with my body spirit, but without putting myself aside. When you go trance, you become a vessel for spirit to come through you.
Yes.
And on deeper cases, there is like almost, you can visualize the transformation of the face of the person. For instance, you use the red light and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
They're pushing it forward for me. It will be the ability to feel through my body, the same as trance mediumship, but without leaving my body. So I will have complete control of my vagus nerve, of my sensations, but it's as if like I will be kind of giving the messages with open eyes. But it's going to be coming through my body.
Oh, I can hardly wait to see this. Seriously, are you doing this now?
Well, just starting at the moment. I just found out recently. So I have a number of events coming ahead. So it will be, a spirit was saying, Daniela, it's not about showing that you can do mediumship anymore.
Right.
It's about being able to hold the space and with your calm vibes and energy, which you picked up earlier from my voice,
mm-hmm.
It will be to hold a sacred space, a safe space where people can heal while you give messages at the same time.
I will tell you, when I receive trance mediumship messages, when I have someone, I don't really like to call it read for me, I just feel overwhelming love through the whole transmission, and what they have to say is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. And I also want to tell the viewers that are watching, Daniela and I talked before the show, and she will be coming on to do the trance mediumship. So that's another exciting event to look forward to. But I want to tell you a little something about this young lady. And I love your humbleness. I do. It's beautiful. She is quite learned. She's an evidential psychic medium, a quantum Reiki healer, and I don't know the difference between Reiki healing and quantum. She's a crystal therapist, a trance healer, what she's talking about, and spiritual evolutionary teacher. So she has quite the background. And I know we can't capture that in 40 minutes or 50 minutes or an hour, but we can find out what spirit wants the audience to know. And also, you had a NDE during surgery too. Did you also have an episode with that where you met the divine, or what happened with the near-death experience?
Well, it was just the beginning of everything, basically.
Oh,
they opened up the door to understand. It was like an awakening, I suppose. And no matter the age, You know, for instance, obviously, mediumship has nothing to do with religion, although spiritualism is a religion. However, if you look at the miracles of the Holy Mary of Lourdes, I don't know how you would pronounce it, Lourdes in France. No, it was in France, yes. And you will see that it's children that received messages. So it was probably, according to Spirit, that was probably the best moment to crack me open, you know, to the quest in my life. Because between, you know, growing up and going to school and starting a family and traveling, there was this one common thing that was, what am I like? What am I? What happened to me? Why, when I walk down the street at night, there will be people before me and people after me, but the lampposts will turn off only when I walk past.
You were being well protected.
And it was spooky, but at the same time, calling my soul. I knew there was something more to myself, you know.
You knew at age 4.
I knew at age 4 that there was something. You know, some people say, some mediums say, not just medium, but, you know, people say, I could see spirit when I was little. No, I didn't. But I knew it was a knowing, a feeling. And as we know, you know, we don't need to necessarily just see spirit to know that we've got a connection. We could hear it. And I wanted just to share about something, actually. Here in London, in the UK, a few years ago, I got contacted by the Imperial College Hospital in London, a psychiatric hospital department. Yeah, just wait.
I didn't know
and they said, we're doing a research to understand, because we understand you are a professional medium, and they've been amazing. They've been so sweet to me, okay? And they said, we need to understand when people say that they can hear spirit or voices, as they put it, and how do you perceive, how do you hear the voices? Is it from within your head? Is it from the outside the head? Okay? Does it come with other things? Like, for instance, I can feel it inside, you know, like from my chakra space, basically, you know, from the top of my stomach, for instance, and, you know, it's a combination of things. And for 2 hours, I mean, obviously I can't recap that in a couple of sentences, because it was 2 hours conversation. And some of them almost converted by talking to me, because they said, oh my God, it's just the way I was explaining to them, you know, things. And they said, what sharing this with us is helping us enormously to deal with people that are coming to us saying they hear voices and they don't know what to do with it.
Right. Is this a psychotic episode, or are there real voices giving
Correct.
you messages?
Okay. And I have had people contacting me in panic saying, oh my God, what's going on? And, you know, Karen, I want to say something. I don't need to advertise myself. I let people come to me. They will find my light when they need it. They will be guided.
Perfect.
And that's why there isn't such a thing. I never consider myself being in competition, if you like. You know, like, I know we are all spiritual, but there is this thing. There is not such a thing as competition here.
No.
Because the light, the energy that I bring is completely different from other friends of mine that do the same thing.
Right. And your vibration and your frequency will attract the same too.
Correct. And I'll tell you more. I'll tell you more. My sole purpose as a medium, a healer, and a teacher is to help the awakening souls that require calmness and reassurance. There are other colleagues of mine that will work with people that have, and not because I couldn't do it, but it's my life purpose. They work with people that are far higher advanced and they can talk about whatever they want. But for me, and guess what? In my real life, I've been a teacher in schools. I'm now retired from that. But my whole life, I've always been helping the young ones, for instance, hence my website, New Crystal Generation.
I think that's a wonderful way to be of service, an absolutely wonderful way to be of service. And I find it interesting that you don't advertise either. And
no, not that much. No.
You still draw the people that are supposed to be with you.
Yeah.
And that's the way it should work.
Yeah. And a lot is word of mouth as well. And I do get, found regularly because it's quite interesting because, to confirm what I said earlier, lately there was a woman saying, I got really attracted of all the websites. I felt attracted to your website.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's interesting.
And that is, and that's it. That is like, and I went like, Because
that must have been what happened to me in reaching out to you, because I always ask for guidance about who to reach out to.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm led to where I go.
Yeah, of course. Mm-hmm. And so we are just touching, the peak of an iceberg, really, the point of an iceberg.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah,
there's so much
there
more
would be so much more in so many directions, like the quantum Reiki healing. The reason why is that I've been reported by people that suffered even with cancer or with serious disease, an improvement that doctors couldn't explain or justify. Mm-hmm. And so what people's feedback is to do with feeling an inner transformation. It's like a journey for them when they receive my quantum Reiki healing. It's like the unlocking and opening up of new DNA, which is considered junk DNA by your scientists because they don't know what it is for. Mm-hmm. And that's the famous chariot, the Merkaba, mm-hmm. that unlocks through the healing and does what it needs to do.
Keep going. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, that's fine. You were saying when you...
Well, I just know that so many people need healing. I mean, a lot of people's journey is with healing. And I know you're able to do that where you're in the UK and other people can receive that service. Is it usually done in a few episodes, or can it come immediately, or are they all different?
Well, are you asking about, do they need like a course of treatments, or is just with one treatment?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
I don't know, because these people in particular, they had a course of 4 treatments before they found out that the bloods had reverted completely path.
That's incredible.
So they came about 4 times in 2 weeks, 4 or 5 times. I think that I just wanted to mention as well that the healing doesn't come from me. Right. It's not me healing.
Yes.
I just make sure that I prepare the ground and I'm an open channel to receive the healing, to pass on this vibrational healing onto others through my guide,
Right.
who was an archbishop at the Vatican in the Middle Ages.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful.
And I know exactly who he is. I've got a picture of his, and I have tracked him down through internet.
Have you?
And I know the whole history of who he was.
Mm-hmm.
I was given a first name, and then I was given a couple of years later the surname, and then I found out about the history, and then from the elements I had, I said, internet is the answer here. And it's not the first time that happens to me. It's not the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I found out, and then one day, a few years ago, I took part online as a spectator to, an artist, medium artist. And this lady picked on me, and she started talking about the Vatican, Michelangelo, and, it seems like your guide. And I said, yes. And then she did the drawing. And guess what? When I went online afterwards to look up for Richard, guess what? I found the tombstone, and they match.
Oh, wow.
The drawing, I got goosebumps, the drawing which I have, and the picture of his tombstone with his statue is like, without offending, sorry, big nose. He's got a higher forehead, bigger pronounced ears with a short cut hair. I mean, it's him.
Wow. That's a beautiful story. That's a beautiful...
And he's the healer, not me.
Right. You're just a conduit.
I am.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you're the conduit. You're the in-between to get through the...
What I need to make sure I do, I actually need to clear my channel and be aligned and grounded as much as I can.
Right.
I mean, this is spiritual hygiene, really,
Yeah, spiritual hygiene.
That's how I call it. It's spiritual hygiene. I need to clean and wash.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you see the energy around people too?
Yes.
The aura colors. Okay.
Yes, I can. I can see yours as well at the moment.
What colors are you seeing at this moment?
Well, at this moment there is a aura of faint golden energy just right around you, followed by dimmed red sparkly aura. And on the top of it, it's like green. Now, I know that you are being surrounded by Archangel Raphael, and he's actively guiding you through healing.
Healing of myself?
Say that again?
Healing of myself? Okay.
Healing you. It's healing you. Yes, so you're healing. You are being healed. It's a process, he's saying to me. It's not a one thing. Basically.
Oh, I know.
And
I talk to him every day.
Why is it faint? It's not bright and shiny. Is because there is still a lot of doubt. There is still a lot of trying to figure out things. So you're not shining completely your light, because you are the most beautiful, delicate soul that one can be. And they're saying they're saying that you will need the healing for you to move on to the next step. You're not ready for it yet. They're saying that it's going to take another 3-4 years, and then that's the next level up, if you like. The next stage will start coming in. So, and obviously I can't say, I don't want to say too much, because obviously it's a public domain, and maybe I can give you, I can tell you more later. But, I can tell so much from people aura, and by seeing, that's more to do with the psychic skills rather than obviously mediumship, because they are two different things,
Right.
obviously. And that's okay, Karen, the thing is that when I teach my classes, I tell my students, don't think that because you're here, you're being asked to become a medium like me, or you're being asked to make a career out of it, if you like.
Right.
What Spirit is trying to teach you by enhancing your psychic and spirit skills is to help you through life, is to help you find the direction. Because when you do that, when you are in that flow, then you can help others. Because at the end of the day, it's all about community. And the further we will go down into history, the more it will be about community and coming together.
Daniela, that's so true. That is so true. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad that I was led to you. I seriously am. Oh my gosh. Oh. People, you have her social media links, so you know how to reach out to her if you want to. Is there anything that we haven't touched upon? I mean, I could talk to you for hours. I really could. Have a nice cup of coffee or tea and just chat.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you would like to tell the audience?
Trust your gut feelings.
Trust. It's always about trust, isn't it? Yes.
Trust your gut feelings.
Mm-hmm.
It will be way too common for people to say, I knew it. If only. If only. And that's a huge challenge to overcome. But once you start trusting and start saying, I know my gut feeling knows better, there is no going back. You will be attracting more and more abundance, serenity, peace, knowing that you don't have to make decisions. And lots of people say, I have to take a decision. Yes, you do.
Mm-hmm.
But it has to come from the heart, not from the mind.
I just did a video on that today about vulnerability and not coming from the ego and coming from the heart.
This is the next shift humanity needs to do now. That's the next shift.
I so agree. Is to shift to the vulnerability of oneself.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to tell the audience and you it's not a spiritual, well, I guess it is, a quick story on trust. I got in a little fender bender a couple weeks ago, and I have this really nice Toyota Highlander hybrid. It's very comfortable, and I'm up high, and I like to see where I'm going and everything. And so I dropped that car off, and I received a little Mazda. And I was driving around in that thing thinking, I'm too low. I don't like it. I want to be up. I need more car around me. And I kept calling the dealership, not the dealership, Enterprise Rent-A-Car. What else do you have for me? Do you have something a little bigger? And we went back and forth for days, a couple days actually. And then on a Friday, she said, Karen, come on in. A lot of cars have come in and you can have your pick of what you want to get. So I'm driving there and I hear, keep the car. I go, are you freaking kidding me? I'm driving right now to change cars. Keep the car. So I turned around and parked, and I called this lady that I've been bothering for the last few days about getting a bigger car. And I said, this might not make any sense to you, but I've been told by my team to keep the car. So I'm going to keep the car. And that was all about trust. Because I didn't want that car. I wanted a different car. But I drove back home and didn't exchange it. So little instances like that of trust too. Yeah. Oh my gosh, Daniela. You're fabulous. You really are.
Well,
Oh gosh, you touched my heart.
no.
Yeah, did you get to say everything that you wanted to say before I?
Yeah, I suppose, as I said, it's it's just the top of the iceberg, but yeah, I suppose these are like basically the reason why I shared what I shared was because I want people to listen with their heart, identify themselves to my story, know that it's okay to say no.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
When they feel that whatever is happening or decisions, like in your case, it's what you need to do. And knowing that and understanding that once they get to that level of acceptance of the connection to spirit, life, okay, don't get me wrong, will become easier. Not because it's going to be any easier at all. There will be a lot of elements in this world, illness, jobs, finances, but they will be able to face difficulties with a higher understanding. Yes. Drama equals 3D.
Equals what?
3D, three-dimensional life.
3D, okay.
What I call 3D, which is a three-dimensional life.
Yeah, let's get rid of
the ascension. Imagine it goes up and high. So 3D is as thick into the earthly being, not knowing anything about spirituality or not believing, and logic and all of that will be, and everything that is to do with emotions and hate and jealousy, and that is all three-dimensional stuff, okay? Because it's all very dramatic. And once you latch on to this different type of work, when you start working with spirit and trust a bit more, you will start raising above those dimensions where actually if someone, which happened, someone breaks into my car and they steal whatever, and I'm at work, and I go like, my neighbors call me, and I say, okay, all right, well, what did they bring away? That was a few years ago, when we used to have the sat-nav attached into the car. Do you remember? There was a time where we had, we didn't have the sat-nav on mobile phones. It was just this, just the devices, little boxes that you could have. And they stole that, and they stole something else. And I said, okay, all right, that's fine. It is what it is. And I said, I'll call the insurance. And my manager was flustering all over the place. Are you sure you don't need to go? And I said, why would I need to go? It's not a person that got hurt. It's a car.
Right.
And the car will be repaired. I've got insurance. No, but are you sure you don't need to go? Where? To do what? And because I was in a ready state of myself, I mean, what can I do about it, right? It's going to get sorted. So, and he was quite impressed, thinking, oh, I would have been all over the place, and, I would have rushed. And, but what you do once you get there, So it's about finding, your way to cope with life without creating. So there was typical example of a 3D reaction. And a higher perspective, and putting things in prospect.
And he was being so reactionary too. Yeah.
Yeah. But I just wanted to give that message to whoever is listening to us tonight or today. That
Daniela, is there? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it was finished basically. So that's the importance of, me sharing with others, so they can identify and can get an understanding of someone that has not always been a medium. I had a normal job, more than normal. I had a 9-to-5 job. I became a teacher afterwards and did that for many years, and then I just left, and and now I can dedicate my life to spirit.
Okay. I was too a teacher.
Oh, it's a small world.
Yeah, elementary school.
Mm.
I know that it took the death of my husband and my parents to gut me, to take me down, to reformulate me, to get my vulnerability. Is there another way people can achieve that vulnerability without having to go through something really traumatic in their lives? How do you reach that point where you're coming from here and not from here? I don't know.
All I can say to you, for me, it's been 17-year-long development, becoming, experience.
Okay.
Someone calls it as well shadow work.
Oh, perfect. Yes. And like you said, you can do it for your growth, not to be for a performance or where you're going to be taking on.
No,
like
the
that.
So-called shadow work, some people don't like to say that. It's like, or go see a shrink or, whatever people need, right? So for me was the need to overcome some traumas, because I have had, I've been treated quite successfully with PTSD, because I had some traumas in my life as well. And life, Karen, has been tough. I don't want to say anything else, but I've seen quite a lot. Okay. I've seen quite a lot. And how do you come from your heart and not from your mind? Also because of that. Because you've been there.
And, yeah. And not jaded and bitter also.
Oh, that's the key. That's the key.
Yeah, it is.
That's the key.
Okay. Whew. Boy, oh boy. I am so glad I met you. I am, and I know the audience is enjoying you just as much as I am.
Bless you. Thank you.
Okay, well, my husband has decided to give me the assignment to bring forth a message after all my podcasts, whether they be live or recorded. And I think he's been quite gracious, because he knows I get a little nervous when it comes to performing, and closing my eyes and getting a message from him. So as I was getting ready today, he came through. And although I am part of this message, the message is really intended for all of us. And I know that the turmoil of the world, it's difficult. And he said, my wife's heart hurts, and I hear her cry. And we hear all the voices from you. And please know that, and that this has to all become exposed, but it will not be always this way, and life will change and life will get better. So kudos to Bono, and I'm just glad that I can feel him and that he's with me.
It's so beautiful, his message.
Yeah, he
gives hope. Hope.
Yeah, it is peaceful. He was a good man. So Daniela, thank you so much. And we'll chit chat, and we're going to hear more from you. You are quite a beautiful spirit. So thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I've been quite touched, when you reached out, and yeah, absolutely. Just gives us a call. if you wanted to, go deeper in some elements, some other elements of my experience, or in order to help your public and platform, I'll be here.
Okay, perfect. All right. Thank you so much. And I will be getting a hold of you.
Fantastic. Thank you again. Thank you. And thank you for everyone that has joined us tonight.
Thank you too.
Okay. All right. Thank you.